Hey guys, Jishia here, back with another video. For this video, we'll be talking about equipment progression, combat score progression, dailies, and weeklies. I'm making this video mainly because the closed beta test for global is coming up, and since I have to delay the class guides due to class balancing, I thought, why not make more videos on the game systems? This will be a very long video, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. In the beginning, the game will give you some green rarity equipment, as well as a blue rarity weapon to start you off. On the first day, after completing some story quests, you will be time gated. This will give you time to complete all side quests available on the first day. There is also the seasonal activity quests. This is where a bulk of your sources of XP come from. So, what now? What do I do now that I'm time gated? You can start working on your dailies. There will be 3 daily commissions, 2 daily unstable dungeons, 2 each of daily boss and elite keys, and life skilling. Daily commissions need to be activated here at this interactable post. You can choose not to do them, and stack them up to a maximum of 3 times and do them on a later date. These commissions are like Genshin commissions, and you'll be rewarded with Bound Luno, Honor Medals, Honor Tickets, and event currency if there's an event active. Completing 3 per day will reward you with more as well. For the daily unstable dungeons, you do it 2 times daily. This is where you access the unstable dungeons. These will not carry over and stack like daily commissions do. The rewards will also scale with server age. For the first 2.5 weeks, it will only drop eye level 40 equipment and related items like these eye level 40 equipment shards and eye level 40 equipment quality stones. I will explain what those are for later. After 2.5 weeks, these drops will change to eye level 60 equipment and its related items regardless of your character's account age. Meaning, if you create a new character 3 weeks into the game, the daily unstable dungeons will still be dropping eye level 60 items instead of eye level 40 items. This also ties into another topic, time gating. Time gates are also based on server age, and characters created later on will not experience time gates like normal. There will also be catch-up XP, where XP earned will be doubled for characters created later on as well. Moving on to the 2 daily boss and elite keys. You get 2 of these keys daily, and both of them can stack up to 6 times each. Meaning you can stack them for 3 days and will have to spend them in order to gain more keys. You can find where these mobs are through this menu. The boss chests have very low chance of dropping their Imagine Wheels, a certain gold Imagine material, gold and purple Imagine fragments, class talent orbs, class skill books, blue smithing orbs, and grey random boxes. They will also drop modules once modules are unlocked 2.5 weeks after the server opens. Elite mob chests will also have very low chance of dropping their Imagine Wheel, a certain purple Imagine material, purple Imagine fragments, and the rest of the items are the same as boss chests. For life skilling, you will regenerate 400 energy per day, up to a maximum of 2000 energy stackable. Meaning, you can choose to stack energy for 5 days before being required to use them if you do not want to miss out on naturally regenerating life skill energy. You can choose to do whatever you want, but for my min-max players, I suggest going into either mining and smithing, or gem mining and gem cutting. Mining and smithing will help you progress with equipment refining, and gem mining and cutting will help you progress with embedding gems into your equipment. Both of these I'll be going to talk about later. These dailies will take you around 30 to 40 minutes to finish. That is all you need to do per day if you do not plan on min-maxing. Now let's move on to how to progress equipment. To progress your equipment, we must first start off with obtaining eye level 40 purple rarity equipment. There are 3 ways to obtain this, but before I go into that, I'll first explain the different types of equipment you can get. We have 3 different equipment classes. One will have intelligence main stat, one will have agility main stat, and one will have strength main stat. There are 12 types of equipments: weapon, helmet, chest piece, gloves, boots, earrings, necklace, ring, left and right bracelets, and charm. Each piece of equipment will also have substats. However, certain pieces of equipment, depending on main stat, will have restrictions to what substats can drop on them. Weapons have no restrictions. Since there are so many different combinations, I'll just leave this image right here so you can take a look and see what equipment cannot drop with what substats. Pause and take a picture, or you can find this image in my spreadsheet as well. Let's now go into how to get them. First, we have the daily unstable dungeons. Both times will reward you with 1 piece of purple rarity equipment. However, you will notice that these equipment pieces only have up to 30 quality. I'll get to why that is important later on. Another way, and the most consistent way to get equipment, is extreme dungeons. These dungeons can be accessed at the same area as the unstable dungeons, just right above over here. You will see that there are multiple extreme dungeons. These will unlock every 2 days after the first extreme dungeon unlocks. There will be 2 difficulties available, normal and hard. Normal will only drop eye level 40 purple rarity equipment, while hard will have a chance to drop eye level 40 gold rarity equipment as well. The dropped purple rarity equipment will have 80 quality, while gold rarity equipment will always have the maximum quality at 100. Dropped gold rarity equipment from dungeons will always drop for your class's main stat, and will also guarantee a drop every 5 runs. You may have also noticed that there is another difficulty below hard. This is Master Mode, and we unlock Master Mode 2.5 weeks in. Those will start dropping eye level 60 equipment and above. There are 20 difficulties for Master Mode. Difficulty 1 to 5 drops eye level 60 equipment, difficulty 6 to 10 drops eye level 80 equipment, and that is all we know so far. So, on the first day, you will notice that you only have access to the Extreme Goblin Nest dungeon. This dungeon will have a low chance to drop weapons, and a higher chance to drop gloves and earrings. So if you're a min-maxer, you'll be able to guaranteed have gold gloves and gold earrings. Getting a gold weapon is very rare, so not having it is not a big deal. Other equipment pieces will drop from other dungeons. I will be going in order of when they unlock. Hina will drop helmet and necklace, Power Ruins will drop chest piece and ring, Candyman Trial will drop boots and charm, Wind Dragon Valley will drop the 2 bracelets, and Shadow Fortress will drop a weapon at a very high chance and any piece of equipment. All dungeons will have a low chance to drop weapon aside from Shadow Fortress. The third way to obtain equipment is World Bosses. World Bosses have a chance to drop eye level 40 purple or gold rarity equipment for the first 2.5 weeks. The later bosses will start dropping eye level 60 purple or gold equipment when we unlock the ability to farm eye level 60 equipment 2.5 weeks in. You do not need to open the boss chest to obtain these equipments. You can farm them up to 50 times daily. Different bosses will also drop different pieces of equipment. You can see what they drop when you press this tab here. Whenever a boss dies, they will drop equipment shards or the equipment itself. If you are lucky, a gold rarity equipment will drop. However, this gold rarity equipment is not guaranteed to be for your class, unlike dungeons. So, now we know how to farm equipment. How do we upgrade them? There are 3 different systems to equipment upgrading. First, we have equipment reforging. Remember the quality of the equipment I was talking about? This is where they come into play. You will need equipment quality stones to upgrade them. As you upgrade, the stats on the equipment will go up. There will also be a randomly rolled substat that will change every time you upgrade. This randomly rolled stat is not affected by the substat restriction. After you upgrade to the maximum amount of quality you can reach, additional upgrades will only roll the random substat. I have seen many players ask what happens to the quality stones I use after dismantling. Well, you get them all back. So feel free to just tap away and upgrade as much as you want until you are satisfied with the random substat rolls. Everything you invest into the equipment regarding quality will be 100% refunded when you dismantle them to change to a better piece of equipment. But how do we get these quality stones, you may ask? Well, you can get them from daily unstable dungeons, extreme dungeons, and the daily secret shop. However, there's a weekly limit that you're able to get from extreme dungeons. I am not sure what the limit is since I never bothered to count, but you'll want to grind extreme dungeons for gold rarity equipment anyways, so it comes naturally. I also do not recommend buying them from the daily secret shop, which you can access right here. Speaking of the daily secret shop, you can get many items in this shop. Grey random boxes, blue smithing orbs, life skill energy pots, etc. What I recommend you to buy from here if you have the bound rose orbs to spare are the grey random boxes, the blue smithing orbs up to a certain amount, which I'll explain when I get to it, skill book boxes, and life skill energy pots. However, life skill energy pots will require unbound rose orbs, which can only be obtained by paying real money. Back to the topic of equipments. Another way of upgrading them will be equipment refining. Remember when I said there were 12 types of equipments? There will be 12 equipment slots which you can refine. The equipment slots are categorized into 3 different groups. Weapons, helmet, and chest piece are in group 1. Gloves, boots, earrings, and necklace are in group 2. Ring, the 2 bracelets, and the charm are in group 3. Each group will require a different type of smithing metal to refine. You can get these smithing metals from life skilling or the auction house. You can also get them from the grey random boxes and also from the guild shop accessible in the guild hall. You will also need blue smithing orbs to refine for all groups. There are 2 different blue smithing orbs, tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 is used up to level 10 and tier 2 is used for level 11 and above. Blue smithing orbs can only be obtained from daily unstable dungeons, auction house, or daily secret shop. I'm not sure how high you can refine each equipment slot to, but as of now in the CN server, we are time gated at level 13 equipment slots. In the spreadsheet, there are numbers of the materials required for each level as well as the success chance. I'll be updating these as we unlock more levels. So, to upgrade an equipment slot to level 10, you will need 30 tier 1 blue smithing orbs and 60 for the weapon slot. In total, you will need 360 tier 1 blue smithing orbs. What happens if you fail to refine? Don't worry, the equipment slot will not break or regress. However, the materials you use to try to refine will be consumed, which hurts when it happens. Therefore, it is highly recommended to always enhance at 100%. You can increase the success chance of refining using these gold bars and silver bars. Each gold bar increases by 5%, while each silver bar increases by 3%. However, there's a limit of 5 gold bars that are allowed to be used at any time. Therefore, the silver bars are important to hoard for later use. Gold bars can be obtained from life skilling, but silver bars cannot. Both can be obtained from boss and elite chests, daily unstable dungeons, guild dungeon, daily secret shop, and auction house. The last way to upgrade equipment will be embedding gems. I have explained how gems work in my life skill guide, but I'll explain them here again. There are 4 different colors of gems. Different colors represent different stats. Red represents critical hit, blue represents haste, green represents mastery, and yellow represents luck. At first, you can only make basic gems differentiated by color. However, 7 days after the server opens, you'll be able to make different shapes of gems. There are 4 different shapes too. Triangle represents strength, square represents endurance, pear represents agility, and tear represents intelligence. You can mix and match colors and shapes to make the gems you want to embed into your equipment. Each equipment can be embedded with 1 gem. When you unlock eye level 60 equipment, you can do special embedding, which will require more bound Luno to embed, but you have a chance to get higher tier gem stats. For example, I use a tier 3 gem, but with the special embed, I have a 10% chance to get a tier 5 gem stat at a higher bound Luno cost. However, this is a Luno sync early on, so I do not recommend you to do this until we unlock eye level 80 equipment, then we can try with tier 5 gems. Be warned though, it will be a 5% chance to get a tier 7 gem stat. Dismantling equipment with gem embedded on it will not refund you the gem. Replacing gems will also not refund you the previous gem. Once you embed the gem onto your equipment, it is consumed forever. Damn, that was a lot of systems, huh? It will be a lot to digest, and there are more coming up as well. So get some snacks, get a drink, and buckle up. Moving on to skill levels and skill books. This is your skill page. Each skill can be upgraded to level 30 using bound Luno, but it is gated by your overall level. To level them up, click this button here. It will cost you 113k bound Luno to level them up from 1 to 30. There is also another system to leveling skills. This button on the right will allow you to upgrade skills using skill books. You can level them up to level 6, with each level requiring more skill books as you level up. To level a skill from level 0 to level 6, you will need 118 skill books. That is a lot of skill books, so invest wisely. You will not be able to get them back once you invest them. In the CN server, there is a case where we got back our books that we invested. This happened due to the class balancing update, so maybe this will be the case for global as well if it happens, but I wouldn't count on it. Next will be the seasonal armband. For season 1, we have the Void Armband. This armband's upgradable passives unlocked 1.5 weeks after the server opened. You can access this menu from pressing the seasonal tab in the menu list. To farm armband upgrade materials, you have to kill void mobs in this season. Killing void mobs have a chance to drop these void shards. Void mobs will also start appearing 1.5 weeks after the server opens. There are 2 different types of nodes, the small yellow nodes and the bigger main node. Upgrade the smaller yellow node, you will need void shards dropped by the void mobs. You can also buy 100 void shards of each rarity every week with season points. To upgrade the main node, you will have to reach a threshold of the total amount of levels accumulated by the yellow nodes indicated over here. You will also need these shells, which you can get from the season pass and from the weekly season shop. Upgrading the main node will randomly upgrade these void passives we have listed over here. You can equip 2 void passives at the start after upgrading the main node as high as you can for the first 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you will be able to upgrade further and unlock the 3rd node. There are 3 different rarities of void shards. For the first 2 weeks, only green rarity void shards will drop. For the next 2 weeks, blue rarity void shards will drop instead. That is as far as we have right now. I assume in 3 weeks, when the armband's main node is available to be upgraded again, we will get purple rarity void shard. The next system we have to increase combat score will be talent points. At the start, you will only have 3 talent points. How do we get more? You can get more by leveling up, completing certain side quests, and solo trials. The total amount of points we can get is 70. Solo trials will give you 20 points in total after completing 30 trials, which will be time gated, which will be around 3 trials per 2 days. Every 3 trials completed will grant you 2 points. From leveling up to 60, you will get a total of 33 points. The rest of the points will come from side quests. So what is the side quest you have to do? The side quest in question will be the extermination quest from Irona. Irona will task you to kill 50 mobs in a certain area and then kill the elite mob in that area. He will ask you to do this multiple times, but these quests are gated by level, so you can expect to do these quests once per day. Moving on to modules. I've already made a full guide on this, so you can check that out instead, but I'll still briefly touch on this topic. Modules will unlock alongside Master Mode. You can get modules from Boss and Elite Chest, Tower, Auction House, and the Weekly Honor Shop. You will be able to mix and match modules to get higher link levels to get more stats from just the total amount of link levels, and the module set effects as well. Here's an example of what I have. You can find out more detailed information on the module section in the module guide video. Just click the card on the top right to find out more. We are finally done with combat score progression systems. The last thing I want to talk about are dailies and weeklies. I've already mentioned some dailies beforehand, so I'll not talk about those. There are housing dailies that you should do if you want to level up your housing level. I'm not going to go into detail what housing is here, as this will make the guide extremely long, and since it is also currently in the beta phase, it is not complete. Just need to get specific life skill materials that are farmable without spending energy and turn them in. Or you can choose to buy them with housing tokens at the housing vendor or bound Luno at the life skill vendors in town. We also have guild dailies, such as guild check-in and guild cargo. Guild check-in is simple, just talk to the guild receptionist. You will get guild contribution and guild tokens. On the other hand, guild cargo is where a good source of unbound Luno is. Make sure you do this daily. You hand in specific tradable life skill materials which can be farmed using energy or bought from the auction house. You can also choose to fish, which is the free option. However, this will take extremely long. As you can see over here, certain items will grant more points, while certain items will grant less points. These items are random and change every day. There are also a few weekly tasks you should make sure to complete. First one is a daily 20-man activity you can participate in. This is considered a weekly task because you do not need to do this every day. If you clear this activity, you earn 500 points. If you do not clear it, you earn 300 points. You only need 1200 points a week to get all the rewards, so you just need to do this 4 times at most. Another weekly you should do is guild dungeons. These dungeons will only open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Here are the drops. These drops are important, so it is nice to be able to do these every week. The next weekly we'll talk about is the 20-man dragon raids. There are 3 dragon raids in total. The first one, the Ice Dragon, unlocks 2.5 weeks in. There are 3 difficulties, Normal, Hard, and Nightmare. Normal and Hard will be available, while Nightmare unlocks 4 weeks later after the raids are available. The Void Dragon will unlock a week after the Ice Dragon, and the Light Dragon will unlock 2 weeks after the Ice Dragon. Each difficulty will have its own rewards, and you can only get rewards once per week per difficulty for each dragon. Doing the raids with only guild members, I believe, will give you buffs after clearing it, so you can clear the dragon raids easier on subsequent weeks. I may be wrong about the only guild members part, so sorry about that in advance. The dragon raids will drop void treasures, weapon upgrade bar, gold rarity equipment, modules, and equipment quality stones. You use the void treasures to trade for raid equipment. These raid equipments are eye level 60 gold rarity equipment with a special effect. They do not have purple lines normal gold equipment have. Instead, they have equipment set effects which activate at 2 and 4 pieces. They also have perfect substats based on the recommended substats the game decides to recommend to you. For my viewers who play multiple classes, do not worry. Whenever you swap classes or subclasses, the raid equipment will swap to suit whatever subclass you are playing. However, the main stat will not change, so essentially, you are only able to use the same raid equipment with the same main stat classes. For example, Frost Mage, Verdant Oracle, and Soul Musician all share the same main stat, so changing classes between these 3 while using the same raid equipment is possible. This weapon upgrade bar will also allow you to upgrade any eye level 60 gold rarity equipment to eye level 70. This new weapon will have perfect substats like the raid equipment, will also have a special line depending on your subclass. You will need 50 of these weapon upgrade bars, and you can also get them from daily unstable dungeons and the weekly honor shop. In the CN server, we got our 4-set raid equipment after 2 weeks of the raid opening, and on the 3rd week, when the light dragon is available, we will be able to craft our eye level 70 weapon. The next weekly is not really a weekly. It is an activity that resets bi-weekly. You will mainly get your gold imagine materials from here. Modules will also drop from this activity. In the first 2 weeks, you can go up to floor 20. On the next 2 weeks, you can go up to floor 45. On the 5th and 6th weeks, you can go up to floor 55. After that will be the maximum floor, which is floor 60. Every 5 floors, you'll be guaranteed a 1 gold imagine material and a chance to get a gold imagine selector box. The gold imagine material is based on the boss that you defeat on that floor. For example, if you kill the spider crab on floor 15, you will get this gold crystal. The bosses will change every week or after every update. However, this is an extremely challenging game mode trying to clear it to the max floor you can go every 2 weeks. It is very likely you will get gatekept from this game mode if you do not have a pre-made party and are trying to find recruitment parties in World Chat. Lastly, we have Trailblazer rewards. This is a reward system that will let you choose rewards the game presents you every week. You'll get to choose 1 piece of gear and 1 material option. When modules unlock, you will get to choose a module box as well. However, to be able to get these many options, you have to complete weekly tasks. You will have to at most clear 6 extreme dungeons regardless of difficulty, defeat 6 boss mobs, and spend a total of 1800 life skill energy. These are fairly easy tasks, so it's very doable. And we're done! That was a very long guide, and I hope I did not bore you with all the information. There's a checklist for dailies and weeklies in the translation spreadsheet, so you can make a copy for yourself and use that checklist as you wish. I have left out a few things since I've already covered them in my other guides, so you can check them out, but this video covers essentially the main things you need to know. If you have stuck to the end, I salute you and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hate to do this, but please do subscribe if you enjoy my content and want to see more. I'm hoping to reach 500 subscribers on YouTube or 500 followers on Twitch so I can apply for being an official content creator for Star Residence. The next upcoming guide should be the Soul Musician class guide, so do look out for that, and an update video regarding the class balance changes. As always, if I've missed out anything or you have any questions, just comment below and I'll answer them. Thank you all for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!